Apple created the MacBook. Then Apple created the MacBook Air. MacBook Air murdered the MacBook. Apple recreated the MacBook. The new MacBook decidedly did not kill the MacBook Air. What it did was put it on extended timeout. But the spirit of the entry-level Apple notebook never dies. And at Apple's There's More in the Making event in Brooklyn, New York, we finally saw its rebirth. I'm Rene Ritchie. Welcome back to Vector. Let's go hands-on with it right now. The newly resurrected MacBook Air looks like a 12-inch MacBook had a baby with the previous MacBook Air. That's the new MacBook Air, and it's smaller and lighter than Air, though not quite as much as the 12-inch. The screen is 13.3 inches of at-2x Retina display. It's not wide gamut DCI P3, but it is 48% more sRGB than the old Air. And yes, of course, Apple has deleted a significant amount of the bezels. The war continues. SD card is gone, much to my chagrin, but the 3.5mm headphone jack remains, and there are two USB-C/Thunderbolt 3 ports on the left side. I'd have loved to have those ports on opposite sides because I've gotten used to being ambi chargeable, but I know the kind of overhead that adds. The speakers are louder, have more bass, and have wide stereo, the kind Apple's been putting in all their devices lately. The Force Touch trackpad is also 20% larger, so you can really get your gesture on. And the keys are, the third generation butterfly mechanisms that Apple debuted with the latest generation MacBooks Pro. You may love those, hate them, or still be dubious or even terrified about them, but we'll have to wait and see how they hold up in the real world. But one thing is for certain, Apple is not giving up on that design. There's no Face ID for Macs yet, though I imagine it'll be there one day. For now, there's Touch ID, much like on the MacBook Pro, but no touch bar, which should please some people, if not everyone. That means there's also no separate display for the Touch ID right beside the fingerprint scanner/power button, but it otherwise works just like you'd expect. There's only one processor option, a 1.6 GHz dual-core Intel i5. It can turbo boost up to 3.6 GHz, but it's not the full-on i-series in the MacBook Pro either. That's not great news for people who are used to the Air being a full-on i-series system, but for those people there's a lighter-than-ever MacBook Pro with scads of performance. This is really meant for people who are new to the Mac or want an ultralight Mac that's not quite as expensive as the MacBook. And for them, the middle ground might still be okay. There's also a T2 security chip, same as the iMac Pro and MacBook Pro. It handles all the secure boot, encryption, and controller architecture. In other words, Apple is offloading everything from Intel that it can, so MacBook Air performs better than what any similar spec machines have any right to, especially with the ultra-fast storage, which makes swapping to disk almost imperceptible. You can get up to 1.5 terabytes of it inside and up to 16 gigabytes of LPDDR3 memory as well. All that with what Apple says is the same 12-hour battery life. The coolest, if probably not the flashiest new MacBook Air feature is the 100% recycled aluminum used to make it. That is stupefyingly great. Visually, tactily, in every way, it looks like a traditional bead-blasted aluminum Mac. It's just way better for all of us. No multi-touch screen, no Apple Pencil support. For that, you have to look at the new iPad Pro. But the new MacBook Air comes in space gray, silver, and a new gold that's still kind of rosy. The price starts at $1199, which isn't the $999 the previous generation eventually dropped down to, but also isn't as high as the original started at. For it to work, Apple's going to have to prove significant value over price. But like with the new iPad Pro, if the new price is still too high, Apple offers the previous generation starting at $999. You can order the new MacBook Air starting today, and it ships next week. So now, awkward. Something not reborn is Apple's airport base stations. Those are still dead. But their spirit does live on. It just does it in Eero. With Eero, you can put rock-solid Wi-Fi everywhere you need it, from top to bottom, corner to corner, inside, and even outside. Down by the riverside. Never think about Wi-Fi again. Get $100 off the Eero base unit and 2 beacons package and 1 year of Eero Plus. Visit Eero.com/Vector and use the promo code Vector at checkout. Thanks Eero, and thanks to all of you for supporting the show. Apple sells vastly more notebooks than desktops, this we know, and maybe even more entry-level notebooks than pros. This we'll have to find out. Switchers, back-to-schoolers, off-to-collegers, start-uppers, travelers, there are just so many people that this Mac will appeal to. Are you one of them? Love it, hate it, or still undecided? Let me know what you think. Hit like, hit subscribe, and then hit up the comments below. And thank you so much for watching.